It's Wednesday. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm Comic Man Andy. Welcome to my channel again. If you're new here, please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe. Let's hang out and let's talk comic books. And it was supposed to be a pretty big day today, right, everybody? Heard lots of stuff going on. Sounded like there were a lot of comic books coming out. I should probably do a little more research beforehand. But I usually count on my LCS to have everything that I need when it's there, or when I get there. Before I go into my new comic book day pickups, I had an opportunity this week to kind of stretch my legs and go out, and I found an antique shop I hadn't been to before. Did a little bit of digging, got a little lucky, found one of those antique shops that has a bunch of different booths and whatnot, and there was one booth that had about 15 long boxes sitting around. So, yeah, let's do a little digging. You know, anywhere from $1 to $3 a copy. Nothing major, you know, everything had been dug through in the past. No major superhero stuff there. Any early stuff that I found of X-Men or Fantastic Four or anything like that was well beyond thrashed. Not even quite worth the $2 or $3 they wanted. I mean, covers detached, that whole kind of deal. But I did find some really cool stuff that I'm starting to gravitate towards. Found a Dell 15-cent Ghost Story for $1. Pretty cool. I like the purple on that cover with the yellow title. Be really interesting to read this and see how something like this read back then. That was pretty neat. I was actually pretty shocked to find some G.I. Joe stuff. And after a press, this thing could easily be a 9.0 or better. Newsstand edition of G.I. Joe 49. First Leatherneck, and there's a couple other first appearances in there. Pretty sweet. Love the Destro cover. The blue on that looks great. Newsstand as well. Surprisingly, getting bounced around in that bin, and it's in really good shape for a newsstand. Pretty nice. I love the cover on this one. I'm starting to pick these up more as I find them. And that's this all-new Fightin' Army. Pretty sweet looking cover in my opinion. I love the red on there. This is number 126, a 30 center. Charlton Comics. Pretty neat. It's actually in really decent shape for as old as it is. And behind that I found a kind of thrash GI Combat. But for $1 I couldn't leave it. I grabbed it because on the cover it said Second Haunted Tank Thriller. But I don't think it's the second appearance, so I'm not sure what they're getting there on that. Pretty sweet. I grew up reading these out of my uncle's collection. A lot of these old GI Combats and a lot of the old military comic books from the 70s. So really cool. Essentially, I paid cover price for it. All new Fightin' Marines. That cover was pretty cool. Unfortunately, it has an old Walmart sticker attached to it. Kind of sucks, but it might be good practice to see if I could pull that off of an older aged book. Heat it up, see what I can do. This was pretty neat. How often do you see a comic book that has a 39-cent price on it? Don't think I ever have. Attack, just simply called Attack. And this is Spire Christian Comics. And did a little bit of research online about this one. It's actually a retelling of the story of one of the Japanese fighter pilots from Pearl Harbor. So this thing almost fell apart when I rebagged and boarded it. It's in terrible shape. But for $1, let's see if I can read it without it falling apart. Maybe I can find a better grade copy online that I can read. I don't know. I've never seen that before. I couldn't leave this behind. The colors are on this. Are great. That's a 12-cent Fightin' Army. Not in the greatest condition. I know that when I find these old 10 or 12, 15 cent, 20 cent, 30 cent, 50 cent war comics throughout the years, when I find these at my LCS or at another comic book shop, these generally have $8, $9, $10, up to $20 price tags on them, depending on the condition. So to find these in a cheap bin, I'm not going to leave them there. As long as the cover's attached, staples are attached, and there's no major tears, well, I'm going to grab them. And along that same kind of color concept on the cover was really neat to see. This is in really good shape. Our Fighting Forces Attack Number 31, super cool airplane cover. Can't leave that behind. So it was a nice little pickup. Nice little group of books. I think I spent not much money at all for those at an antique shop. Really neat. Glad I grabbed them. Let me cut to my new comic book day pickups from my LCS. Okay, here we are. New comic book day. I thought it was going to be a much bigger day. Sounded like there was a lot that was going to hit my pull box. Generally, I don't order ahead. I just kind of send them an email and be like, hey, I'm interested in this. Add cover A's only, or add all printings, all covers to them. So, I need to start probably pre-ordering, utilizing the previews catalog, because unfortunately when I went into my LCS today, there was not a lot of copies on the shelf. I mean, Batman 94 was in my pull box, obviously, and there were quite a few copies of that on the shelf. A lot of readers for that. I have not read this Batman series yet, this Batman run. I gave away my 89, so I'm going to have to find another copy of 89 before I start reading this. But I'm still stockpiling them. Like I said, the books that a lot of people are reading, sure, there was quite a few out there. But Something Killing the Children hit my pull list. Looking forward to reading that. Unfortunately, they didn't even make the 25 orders for this to even get the 1 in 25 incentive. That was my shot to get that book. I was looking forward to it, and unfortunately, online, that thing's selling way more than ratio. Maybe that'll come down in price. Maybe I can get it later. But at least I got the cover A to read. And Oblivion Song. 5 covers for this. Oversized 25th issue. Is that a Kirkman thing? I don't know. How many comics from Image go that long and then just do like a big 25th issue? I don't know. I can get 50, 100, 200, 300, 25. 5 covers and then $4.99. So I'm actually glad that they didn't pull each and every cover for my box, because that was $25 just for Oblivion Song. So I got this cover. I'm happy with that. Set that aside. And then when I thought about grabbing the other covers, I went over to the shelf. 3 of them are already gone. And I was at my LCS 5 minutes after they opened. So that means the 2 people I saw walk out after I got there, or when I had parked, had gotten all the other stuff. So that means the LCS really didn't have that much ordered. Surprising. Generally, my LCS has everything flush, all the shelves full. So like I said, I'm gonna have to make sure that I start utilizing previews and other websites and calling my LCS and pre-ordering as much as possible. Just having it on my pull list, I don't know if that really helps out as far as the pre-ordering process goes, but I'll ask them, see what's up. Last but not least, X-Force number 10. Still reading that, still enjoying that. And I took everybody's advice finally. I went and did it. So after 2 weeks of hemming and hawing, I finally grabbed Batman Killer Smile. Lemire Sorrento, definitely, I need to read this. Everybody's told me I need to read it. I agree with you guys. I just couldn't get into the prestige format, and it's still kind of annoying, but what makes it possible is I finally asked the important question on LCS. It's like, hey, I know you guys bag and board normal comics. He's like, I asked him, like, do you guys have the regular bags and boards that'll fit, not regular, but the magazine stuff that'll fit these? And he's like, oh yeah, 20 cents. Okay, that solves that portion of it. So I don't want to buy a comic book and not be able to bag and board it. Now, how am I going to store these things? You get 20 boxes over here. Where am I going to store them at? He's just like, well, don't you have a magazine portfolio? I've seen you come in with one. I'm like, yeah, I use them for conventions and put them in my backpack. And then it clicked. Oh, yeah, I can just store them in there and then put that portfolio on the shelf. Pretty excited to read that. So as soon as I went up to the register and put this down on there, he's like, hey, you can't read this just yet. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, have you read Joker Killer Smile? I'm like, no. He's like, well, that leads into this. He's like, you can't read the Smile Killer unless you read Joker Killer Smile. So I definitely picked these up. Book 1, Book 2, and a creepy but fun Book 3. So I have all of these there. I'm definitely going to sit down and read these today. Probably while this video is rendering, not editing. And because I was anticipating a much bigger week for comic books, I had a little bit bigger budget set aside. So I took the time to dig through the bins, the boxes, you know. I remember a number of months ago I saw some discounted trade paperbacks. I'm like, well, for $3, $4, $5, sure. I was actually able to find Chew Volume 3 for $3, which is awesome because I have Volumes 1 and 2 back here, and I've only read Volume 1 so far. So I'll add this to the shelf. Looking forward to that. Eventually I'll get to that. And it seems like on the Comic Core Community tab poll that Invincible's running away with the win for this week. Might be jumping the gun a little early, but I still grabbed Volume 1 and Volume 2. I mean, that's probably going to win the vote. Hopefully it wins the vote. If not, I'll read something digitally, but this time we're going to read the first 2 volumes of Invincible is what it sounds like. It's going to win. It should win. So let's see. I can clip and I can cut and I can edit this part. I've got a couple more minutes left. All right. Like I said, Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Invincible. Looking forward to reading this. So those are my pickups for the week. A lighter week than I thought it was going to be, but I still made the most of it, and definitely got some cool trades for the bookshelf. And going to be a fun day reading this stuff. So, everybody, thank you again for hanging out. Remember, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk comic books. I really enjoy it. Really enjoy your guys' time. Thanks for hanging out. So I'm going to go get something cold to drink here. We're going to chill out because it's 95 outside today. Yuck. And I'm going to go peace out. Go pinkies out. And I'll catch you on the flip side for the next video. Peace.